everyone, this is the Happier, Kinder Vegan, back for episode 2. This is in a series of 4 or 5 videos that are going to be me basically welcoming you to the channel and explaining who I am and what I'm about and what this channel is going to be about, by talking a little bit about myself, about my personal experiences, and giving some examples of the types of things that I'm going to be talking about and doing on this channel. So I want to preface this by saying that this discussion is going to be a lot about diet and about food, but I do recognize the fact that veganism is not just about diet, and it's not just about the food and not eating animal products. There's so much more to what veganism is, and the nuances of the vegan movement and animal activism and compassion, and also considering, you know, what are we wearing, what products are we using, how is our decision to buy this thing or to support this company affecting the not just murder but also exploitation of animals. And so I am aware of that, and I do want to make sure that I mention that because it's so important. But also this discussion is mostly going to be about my experiences with the diet side in this video, and I'm going to get into some of those other topics later on. So let's get into it. First of all, you have to know kind of where I came from. I'm from a very small Alaskan town, less than 1,000 people. Very secluded, very rural, kind of hard to get to, and sometimes very hard to get out of. So I grew up in that kind of environment, very close-knit, small community. My graduating class was 13. Most of the time through elementary school, our grades were combined, kindergarten, first grade, second, third grade. So being in that type of community, in that type of environment, it does, I would say, kind of seclude you from certain things. So I didn't really know about veganism or anything to do with that until I really got into my later years of high school, and really actually into college, that I really understood what it was about. My family always ate very, low cost, high animal product type meals, what I would call the SAD diet, as it's called, the standard American diet, of lots of meat, lots of cheese, lots of dairy, and not a lot of green stuff. And my parents did the best that they could, and I'm not blaming them at all. They didn't have always a lot of money, and they bought things that they knew were cheap and convenient and would feed me and my siblings. So keeping that in mind, I really didn't discover veganism very deeply until, I would say, I got to college. And within that, it was kind of through YouTube, I would say, that I really started to learn a lot about it. There were some documentaries. I know Food Inc. came out, and Forks Over Knives, and those sorts of documentaries were popular, and I was in college. I keep saying that it's been about a decade, but I'm older than I think I am, so it's been even really longer. I would say 12, 13, 14 years that I've been watching kind of vegan YouTubers. I really bought into that world, even though I wasn't a vegan at the time. I was really more interested in just soaking up the information. I wanted to know as much about it as I could before I really tried it for real, because there was kind of this idea in the back of my mind that I think held me back for a long time, which was that I would mess it up, or that I wouldn't really do justice to it, because there were so many videos about people who, went into it without being prepared, or went into it without knowing exactly what to do, and they were hungry and they weren't satisfied, and it was because of mistakes that they were making. That was kind of a big focus at that time. Less so now, I think, in a lot of the channels that I watch. People I love now, Lauren Toyota, Hot for Food, there's Rachel, there's Gaz, Avant-Garde Vegan, so many videos and YouTubers that I could list, so many documentaries that I love, so many books. I'm listening to Forks Over Knives on audiobook again, and then I have the China Study on my list for my audiobooks to re-listen to, just as a brush up, because I'm going back into this transition. So going along with that, I wanted to kind of mention, I went in phases. So because I was doing all of this research and I was learning so much and I didn't want to mess up and I was scared about making a mistake, I would do a week at a time, see how it went, and kind of go back and write down, my findings. And all the while going back to a standard diet, standard American diet of animal products, and while the whole time daydreaming about veganism and why I didn't just make the leap and just say, this is it, let's do it. Who knows why? Peer pressure, or at the time I was in college and I was going back and forth between home and college, and maybe not wanting my parents to have to adjust the food they were making. I don't know what it was, but I kept going back and forth. I would try it, try some things I'd been learning, or some things I'd been watching, or some things I'd been reading, try recipes, try all this other stuff, and then I would go back to it and kind of record what I found and make adjustments, and then I would try it again, and it would be a week here, and then it would be 2 weeks, and then eventually 3 months, 4 months, most recently. And so, as I said in my previous video, episode 1, of this kind of getting to know me welcome series, I'm not vegan right now. I am transitioning into it right now. I just turned 30 last week, and I want to make this transition, and I want it to last. So my focus, my goal is a year, and hopefully during that year I'll forget that it's a year-long challenge, and it'll just keep going, and I won't look back. I want to make it through all of the family holidays and all of that stuff, and so that's my goal right now, is to make it a year. I've done stints of several months in a row. It's time to just kind of rip the Band-Aid off and go for it. And I feel like now, because I've been researching this for over a decade, I think I have enough resources and I have enough knowledge now to help me to be successful. So I'm going to put up a picture of myself now. This is a picture from when I was 300 pounds, which wasn't all that long ago, if you think about it. It was, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that long ago. Maybe 5 years ago, and I lost over 120 pounds at one time, and my weight has kind of gone back and forth, and I'm not doing this for weight loss, but I do hope that there is some weight loss that comes with this, because I know that I feel healthier when I'm not carrying so much weight. I got down to 170, just about 170 pounds, as you can see in this picture, and the before and after was pretty drastic for me, and that was in just over a year that I had all of that weight loss, and it was just from being more active, eating a lot less plant products. But I wouldn't say that I was fully vegetarian or vegan, but most days I was, and I felt really good, and I felt a lot better and a lot healthier, and I was a lot happier. I am a teacher, an elementary teacher. I have taught up to 6th grade kindergarten. Next year I'll be teaching first grade, and I want to keep up with those kids, and I want to have the energy to keep up with them. And I also want to be a good example, a healthy example and role model for them, to see somebody who is healthy and happy and who is compassionate and kind. And I hope that I can do that through this lifestyle change permanently and long term. Like I said, I did just turn 30, and my family does have a history of things like heart disease and dementia and other types of things. And I'm not saying that veganism will completely get rid of any risk factors that I have, but I do believe that it will help. I do believe that it will kind of slow down some of those diseases, at least the onset of some of those diseases. And I've been rereading Forks Over Knives and listening to the audiobook and the testimony and the doctors and the research that shows a positive correlation between cutting out animal products and keeping off different sorts of diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, other types of cardiovascular diseases. And so I'm kind of doing it for myself also, to be healthy. So I really want to use this channel to show you my journey, to do it along with you. If you are making this journey now and you're finding my videos now, or even if you're finding them down the road, and I've been doing this for a while, you can come back and watch these videos and watch the transformation and watch. I'm going to talk about the challenges. I'm going to talk about what I've been doing and what I've been eating and what I've been reading. I'm currently now in the transition mode of getting rid of animal products from my home and from my fridge and from my cabinets. I'm a very firm believer in not wasting things. I've done this transition several times, as I've said, for different amounts of time, and each time I'm very careful to either eat or give away food that has animal products, because I feel that it's important not to waste it. And so my next 2 videos that I'm looking at making are going to be on the topic of, first of all, what does it mean, the title of my channel, Happier, Kinder Vegan, what does that mean to me, and why does it mean so much to me that I decided to name my channel that? And also I'm going to be making a video on kind of the resources that I've used throughout the last decade and more, 13, 14 years. What are my favorite resources that I've found for getting information, so that if you are new to the movement and you are new to the lifestyle, what do I suggest? Where do I suggest you start? What are some YouTube channels that I suggest that you subscribe to right now? Documentaries that I think you should watch, books I think you should read, and things of that nature that I think you can do now to kind of boost your overall knowledge about the lifestyle and help you to be more successful. And of course, I'm here. I've done all this research over a long period of time, so hopefully I can answer questions that you have. So if you do have questions, please comment on the video, and either I can answer it in the comments, or I can make a video about the topic if it's something that's a little bit more involved. And I would love to get into discussions about ethics around veganism, and to share recipes as well, that things that I'm making, especially over the next couple of months. My summer break is coming up. Again, I'm a teacher, so I get a summer break, and so that would be a great time for me to kind of do a what am I eating in the day, sort of day in the life type videos, so that you can see what am I reading, what am I doing, what am I eating, what are the changes that I'm making to my life to help me to be successful. So please like, share, comment, all of that is down there. Please subscribe, that should be over here, and I will see you in episode number 3, which is going to be an analysis of what the title of the channel means to me, and so I'll see you then. Bye.